This is TWiT. Hey, buddy, are you a geek? Are you a tech enthusiast? Then I would love to invite you to join a tech community like no other. You can gain exclusive access to our incomparable quality tech content with Club TWiT. As a member, you'll enjoy all TWiT TV shows ad-free. Plus, access private video feeds for insider shows like iOS Today, Home Theater Geeks, and so much more. Dive into the members-only TWiT Plus bonus feed for behind-the-scenes content, club discussions, and special events. But here's the best perk. Join our incredible Discord community to watch live show productions, chat with hosts, and participate in exclusive members-only activities. It's your backstage pass to the world of TWiT. Whether you're a tech enthusiast or a lifelong learner, Club TWiT elevates your knowledge while entertaining your interests. Get 2 weeks free when you sign up now and unlock unparalleled access at twit.tv/clubtwit. That's twit.tv/clubtwit. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you and welcome to the club. Hey, it's time for another coffee time. I hope you poured yourself a nice, thick, dark cup of a Joe and are ready to listen and talk about coffee. Hello to our Club TWiT members for whom this is a special program. This is the third time we've done this with our good friend Mark Prince, who is officially the Coffee Geek. Hello, Mark.
Hi, Leo. How's it going?
Coffeegeek.com. And Mark, what are you drinking today?
I'm having this beautiful Costa Rica coffee that was processed using the honey process, which is just a fancy way of saying a quasi between a wet and a dry process for the green coffee.
Nice. I've read about the honey process. I don't know if I've tried it or not.
Yeah, it's becoming more common for sure.
Yeah. Let's welcome in our special guest for the day, the wonderful Liz Happybeans, who it makes me happy just saying the name. Hi, Liz.
Hello. Thank you for having me today.
Liz is a prominent YouTuber, TikToker, Instagrammer. Well, how did you get into coffee, Liz? When did that start for you?
Well, since I was 6 years old, I will say.
Wow.
But specialty coffee.
Wait a minute. Your parents let you drink coffee at the age of 6? Didn't you know that would stunt your growth?
I am from the Dominican Republic.
Oh, of course.
We get born and we're already drinking coffee. And early memories of brewing coffee, I will say, start 7. I would just prepare the mocha pot, put it in the stovetop, turn it on. Like, it's just part of who I am at this time.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
As Frank Sinatra said, they put coffee in Brazil. And I think that's probably true in Dominican too.
That is absolutely correct.
Wow. So obviously didn't stunt your growth. That is a old wives' tale, as they say. But here, in the States, it's pretty common that parents will not, maybe they don't want their kids to get hyped up. Of course, they give them sugar.
That makes sense.
Did you drink coffee for a cup of regular coffee for breakfast, or do they water it down with milk or?
So in the countryside, what you do is you use like a sock. So it's like a drip, but with a cloth filter instead.
Yeah.
And then the kids will have, after the grown-ups drink their coffee, then they will pass more water through the grounds. And then it's this very diluted cup of coffee. They will add sugar and milk, and that's breakfast.
So you get the seconds.
Exactly, basically. Yeah.
I don't think making coffee in a sock really comes up to the level of connoisseur coffee at this point. Although you could say it's a pour over.
It is a pour over.
It is a pour over.
Yeah. In fact, you do pour overs on your channel. I've seen it. You talk a lot about that.
Yeah, I love that. That's possibly my.
Is that your preferred method of coffee?
Between that and espresso, that will make a tie.
Yeah. Mark has managed to get me to spend thousands of dollars on espresso machines over the years.
Good job.
Good job, Mark. But we love our AeroPress too, which is, also a filter coffee.
That's what this is right now.
Wife, my wife's sitting right there. That's her favorite way of making her coffee in the morning. I use the Breville Oracle, whatever that new one
Jet.
is. The Jet.
Oracle Jet.
That's powerful.
So
That's good.
Actually, I have a question for both of you. I've seen, mostly on Reddit, people look down at these fully automatic coffee makers. I noticed, Mark, you have now that lever thing. Are you going to review the lever coffee maker that you just showed?
Look at
that.
Flair, they're the maker of that machine.
You can't get more manual than that for espresso.
They also sent this for review, which is their similar to that one. You could make
pomegranate juice with that as well as coffee.
You could, although I've never tried making that.
I wouldn't ruin it.
This thing is crazy. This one here, it folds up like a little origami device.
Oh, so it's portable. You could
so there is.
Look at that. That's so cool.
Look at that.
That's so
Look
cool.
at that. And then it literally.
I would try to get through the TSA on that one.
I don't know if you could bring this on the plane. There's too much metal.
Yeah.
Let me see. Here you go.
Like it's turning into something dangerous.
There you go.
Look at that.
Look at that.
That's
Look
wild.
at that.
So,
and then the brew group sits right here.
Wow. So let's say I bring with me my highly expensive grinder, like the one right behind Liz Happybeans there. And I bring with me a little scale and I measure out exactly 26 grams of perfectly ground. Too much. 22 grams of perfectly ground. Too much. 18 grams.
Or what are you trying to make?
Let's say I have an old sweat sock. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't do that while you're drinking. So answer the question, though. Is it the case that I am, by using this Oracle Jet, which is so automatic, I mean, you couldn't get more automatic, am I depriving myself of a really, truly great drink of espresso?
No, I mean, because first of all, like Breville is doing something in the super automatic space that is quite different from all the other manufacturers. Breville is basing their automated espresso machine technology on a traditional espresso machine. So it
weighs the beans for me. I know. I saw an interview with the head of Breville who said we also heat the group head up because we know you're not gonna do it. So we brew it a little hot so that I thought was wild because I've been heating it up.
The Breville doesn't weigh the ground coffee. It does have a very accurate timer system in it.
Okay, so it knows how much it's putting in. Okay.
The other machine that you got, the Ninja Cat,
I really like. Actually, that's $500. It's a quarter of the cost, and it makes an excellent espresso.
Well, that one actually does have a built-in scale.
So that one weighs it.
Yeah.
And both of them will say if the shot is going too fast or too slow, they will tell you to adapt the grind.
Yes.
So they both do that. One of the complaints the Redditors made about these automatic machines is they have bad grinders. Well, that's not the case with the Breville anyway. It's a Baratza grinder, right?
No, and the grinders
good too.
The grinders have improved in the more traditional super automatics as well. I mean, I've been testing these all-in-one press one button machines since 2002. I think was the first time I reviewed one, and back then, I mean, they were not good machines. They just for you could get a better result from like $150 grinder and a $200 espresso machine than you could from these machines that back then cost like $1,500. That's not so much the case today. They've improved the grinder tech in them quite a bit. They're still not the level of the Breville. They're still not at the level of that grinder that's behind Liz right now, the DF54. But they do a good job. But the more important thing, there's the black one.
DF54, yeah.
Nice. The real important thing is that they've also improved the brewing groups inside these machines so that they just do a better job of accepting the coffee, compacting the coffee into a puck to be brewed for espresso, proper water delivery, including pre-infusion, which 10, 15 years ago they didn't do. And
we even do that with the AeroPress manually. I pour a tiny bit of water in to wet the grounds before we put the rest of the water in. Yeah.
So they've advanced quite a bit. In fact, on Coffee Geek, we have two articles, or actually one article that's specifically about super autos, where we're trying to convince people to move away from espresso machines and Keurig capsule machines.
That's
and
too
go
automatic.
to these Seratos. Yeah.
Okay.
Not only that, but they're waste.
What
they're
are you
wasteful.
drinking, Liz? I saw you take a little sip there. What are you drinking?
I am drinking a watermelon wash process note honey. It's a very citrusy one, like
Nice.
notes of tangerine and peach. I tend to go through fruity more than hazelnut or chocolatey notes usually.
I like, this is Mark's influence, but at first I was always, darker the better. And I've gotten into the more fruitier, lighter notes.
That's a very natural curve. Like you start drinking like very bitter and darker coffee, and then you kind of realize, hey, there's more to it. Like there's a lot more than just bitter. This is the bag, and it's actually a Canadian coffee. Trying to support Canadian. So yeah.
We've got a Guatemalan restaurant opening in Petaluma soon, so I'll have to see if they use Guatemalan
lucky you.
coffee. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with Rogue Wave.
Yeah, they're very good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but see, I was going to give you, Mark, an opportunity to talk me into buying a $10,000 setup with scales and the right perfect grinder and all of that stuff, but I don't need.
I'll sell you one, Leo.
I know you would, but I've
got a $10,000 setup in my kitchen that I almost never use.
I don't need a Mazzarocco Coco.
Mazzarocco Coco, yes.
Oh gosh,
I do. I mean, if you read the subreddit, the espresso subreddit, you really see, you really see how people get all in on this stuff. But that's probably true of your YouTube audience. Yes, Liz? I mean,
absolutely.
Who's watching you? The people who are real aficionados, people learning? Who is your audience?
And I will say most of them are prosumers or really in the path of becoming one. And usually when you do like product reviews, I started doing more educational content, but then we kind of realized people really want to see reviews, which is a bit of a shame. But then when you start doing this, what you realize is people either made the decision to buy this stuff and they just want to, kind of affirm their decision was correct and that you agree with them.
Yeah.
Or they're already decided they don't want it and they want to see that you also say you shouldn't get it, or they have it and they just want to, again, reconfirm that, this is my experience.
So what you're saying is 2/3 of us just want you to say what we're doing is okay.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just a lot of reaffirmation.
We want affirmation. Yeah. But 1/3 is looking and learning. So let's speak to the 1/3 that's looking.
Exactly. Some of them are beginners. So a lot of my content you will see, I'm speaking, hey, you can do this with $500. You don't have to spend $10,000. Or there are many different things, different methods. You don't have to make espresso necessarily to enjoy a good cup of coffee. So you will see a mix of that. Yeah.
Thank God I do not have to deal with that in what I do for coffee. Oh my gosh, that would just I couldn't live that in the environment. I'm a coffee writer. I still think of myself as a writer about coffee.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Whereas Liz has to produce this dynamic content that is, snap, instant. People, as she said, people want instant gratification that I made the right purchase decision. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And I really would love to do more educational content and just teach you maybe how to do stuff. But people want to see shiny things. I don't know why.
So today, no shiny things.
Well, I got lots of shiny things around.
Get rid of this.
I've got these amazing.
Oh yeah, we'll get to yours. We'll get to your shiny things.
I've got this crazy thing, which I still don't know. I don't know, Leo. I honestly don't know.
Is it a cup?
It's a coffee sifter.
A sifter, because you don't want the grinds to get clumped up.
Yeah, I just don't get it sometimes.
So let's put your educator hat on, Liz, because I think that sounds like what you really love, and I think that's something we should do. We should educate people. We should, because you already did where you said, look, it doesn't have to taste like chocolate caramel or burnt offerings. It could taste citrusy. It could have more complex flavor notes. So if I don't want to spend a lot of money, is it possible to make that kind of a really good connoisseur coffee for less?
Absolutely. I will get a dripper, like a V60 or a Calita or even a Melita if you don't want to be too
We had a
fancy.
Melita forever. I had a Chemex when I was growing up. That would work too, right?
Exactly, absolutely. And then you get yourself a nice kettle. That's about it.
A nice kettle. What's it? So, but anything that boils water is nice, isn't it? Or no?
No, because you also need to be a little bit precise if you want to control the flow of the pouring and then, get yourself a nice cup of coffee. You can do it like another kettle and then you have the water is reaching a boiling level and then you're just killing your coffee. And that's
It's
not
too
good.
hot.
You don't want
212 or 100 degrees Celsius is too hot.
That is correct. You don't want to get to boiling ever.
Okay. We have a very nice Breville electric teapot that you set. It says, for French press or for oolong tea. It has all those temperatures. What should I go 200 degrees? Is that the ideal?
I don't speak
That's a good starting point.
So where should, I'm going to get a good kettle. And what should I set it to?
I will set it to 94 degrees Celsius.
94. Okay.
And
Celsius.
then Celsius.
Celsius.
And then, of course, you have to think about the roast level of this coffee. If it's a lighter roast, then maybe you go a little bit hotter. And
Hotter
if it's too dark,
lighter.
If it's too dark, then you go a little bit lower. The idea is that you are not, burning those components that give aromatic and other good things of coffee. There are bad things to coffee if you overdo it. So you don't want to.
You can make it over you can overbrew it. You can. So what we're doing is we're kind of using this water to extract
exactly
various compounds from these ground up coffee beans.
Exactly.
If I can expand on that just a bit, there's been tons of scientific study into the applicable temperature of water depending on the roast level. So what Liz is saying is absolutely correct, is that the darker the roast, the lower your starting brewing temperature. And it's across the spectrum of coffee from espresso all the way to press pot. So if you're someone who likes that, French roast, and you have the ability to set the temperature on your espresso machine, you want to probably aim for the 195, 192 degree Fahrenheit range. If you're someone who likes those super light, what I call kind of almost underdeveloped roasts, you want to actually have higher than 200. You want to start around 204, 205.
I've heard people say that the super light roasts are a bad idea.
I'm going to really upset a few people if I start talking about this. So I'll leave it for Liz to talk about that.
I think I will also make people angry because I don't necessarily agree with the current trends.
So I've stumbled upon a controversy.
Oh, yes.
You have. Yes.
Completely inadvertently.
Let me just tell a very, very quick story. There's a fellow who is a former United States and World Barista champion, Pete. I forget Pete's last name. Anyways,
he shall remain nameless.
He knows a lot about coffee. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
He made a comment recently on Threads where someone had said, "Listen, I went into a cafe and they only had their espresso blend available, and I asked if it was okay to use that for press pot coffee or for pour over." And the barista looked at me blindly and said, "But this is for espresso." And Pete said to them, he says, "Well, what's the flavor profile?" "Oh, it's exactly what we do. It's super bright and very, citrusy and lots of acidity in the taste." So Pete took the coffee home, tried it, and the roast was underdeveloped. It was not actually roasted coffee. It was baked coffee. So he made a comment. Yeah.
What's the difference between roasted and baked?
So coffee, when it is roasted, goes through two
I've
catalytic.
seen the big roasters. They have these things that turn it around, and it's almost like it's a frying pan. It's a heated surface, and there's
it is a circular drum. When it dumps out, it's a round thing to cool it.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's the cooler. So it's being cooked in a drum. That's what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's being cooked. Is the drum moving or yes?
Oh yeah, the drum is rotating and it's agitating the beans inside as well. So when coffee is roasted, it goes through two primary catalytic modes. One is called first crack, where the temperature raises from about It starts at around 375 degrees Fahrenheit up to about 390. And the surface of the green coffee, as it expands, starts to crack, and you can audibly hear it. The second one is called second crack, and it's a more subtle sort of almost like, sitting outside enjoying the fire and the little crackle of the outdoor fire from it. And that happens at around 410, 415 Fahrenheit. The trend now amongst some roasters is second crack is evil. We don't want to get the second crack at all.
Exactly.
And they dump the coffee the moment they start hearing first crack. So by dumping the coffee, I mean they take it out of the drum and dump it into the cooling tray to end the roasting process. At that point, it is not roasted coffee. It is baked coffee. It's been baked inside that drum, but it hasn't hit the roast level yet.
Oh, so that's what you mean when you say baked, not roasted.
Yeah.
So it's half cooked.
Half cooked.
Yeah. So I literally have been served coffees that I haven't seen them, but I can testify they should have been green by the time they were, grinding it. It tastes like grass.
It tastes like grass, yeah.
It's not good.
That's not good.
No, why am I paying $16 for pour over of grassy coffee?
$16 for one cup, by the way, Leo.
8-ounce cup of coffee, like around this size, like this. $16? That's insane.
Yeah.
But do some people like that flavor? Maybe they want it to taste grassy.
And that was the point that Pete was making on Threads, is that there seems to be a trend amongst young baristas who are only hunting that acidity, because the one thing that happens,
it is more acidic, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
do they like it, or are they pretending to like it to be in the trend?
Yeah.
That's the question.
There is a lot of trendiness in all of this too, isn't there? Yeah.
Yes.
Pour over became the huge trend. That's all anybody in San Francisco is drinking. They'd go to, and then they would fight over blue bottle versus, huh?
It's not so much the Blue Bottle did it. They were one of the pioneers of bringing pour over coffee to the masses. It's because Hario, a Japanese company, was discovered around 2007, 2008 by the upper echelons of specialty coffee. And being Japanese, the trend at the time, and as it is today, is that if the Japanese decide to put their minds onto something, they're going to make the best in the world.
They'll do it perfectly,
whiskey,
right?
Whether it's cars, whether it's coffee. And the V60 was a new way. It was just a new design, a conical design, instead of, the Melita is called a cone filter, but it's actually flat at the bottom and
it's
cone shaped at the top.
Yeah.
The Hario V60 is a full cone. And
like my old Chemex.
Yeah. Except the big difference between the Chemex and the Hario is that the Hario, they put veins in to create airflow and liquid flow inside the cone holder. Liz, you got one there?
Liz is going to show us one.
I'm going to find one. Just a sec. I'll be back.
She's got it right there.
Oh, I got one over there. There you go.
Look at that. Oh, so it's on the outside, it does look like a Melita. It's ceramic, though. But on the inside, it's very different. It's got a big opening at the bottom, too.
Exactly.
Wow.
So this holds the paper filter in place, but also less water through.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is that the combination of this new take on the pour over system, because everyone was using Melitas, and Melitas being 80 years old at that point, didn't have that sexy factor for a hot cafe to show off a new product. The fact that it was Japanese, and the fact that it could be artisanal with the pour over and little action,
and that long spout and all of that, and the whole thing, and
the Japanese pioneered those kind of kettles.
The timers.
The timers came in after. The first thing was the special gooseneck kettles and the Hario V60s.
Okay. Does this all make a better? Did the Japanese perfect coffee?
Well, coffee has never been perfected. We're still working on that.
Well, it's kind of like cooking. Like there's no perfect way to cook, bolognese sauce. There's just different ways of cooking it to your taste, right?
There is, Liz, and I'm. The one of the most famous people in the world of coffee. Now, I'm going to test if he's famous by asking Liz if she knows who he is. Do you know the name George Howell?
Can't be no! It can't be that famous.
George Howell is the father of specialty coffee. He is the guy who introduced it to
Sounds
the East Coast
old,
of the
doesn't he,
United
Liz?
States. He is. He founded the Cup of Excellence, Liz. Are you familiar with Cup of Excellence?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, Cup of Excellence I've heard of. Yeah.
So George is one of the founders of that. George invented the Frappuccino, and he sold it to Starbucks.
That is nothing to celebrate, my friend.
That specialty coffee?
There's a long story behind the Frappuccino, which we could save for another episode.
No, I don't even want to. No, you didn't want to talk about Keurig the last time you were on. I don't want to talk about Frappuccinos. That is not coffee.
To get back to
coffee flavored milkshake.
It is. You're correct about that. To get back to George, though, George has forgotten more about coffee than everyone on this podcast knows.
Okay.
George was very famous for saying in a speech at the Specialty Coffee Association of America a few years back that he says, as far as our coffee knowledge, as far as our knowledge of coffee in the 500 plus years that Western civilization has been enjoying it, we're barely out of our infancy. We're 9-10 years old in terms of our knowledge. He goes, as far as espresso is concerned, we're barely out of the cradle.
Right.
And I fully believe both those things.
So, I mean, I remember having a traditional Ethiopian coffee ceremony in Dubai. And that's probably the original way. I mean, there was hot sand and things. I mean, it was fascinating to watch.
Was that an Ethiopian coffee ceremony that you saw?
Maybe it was not. Maybe it was Egyptian. There was hot sand, right?
Sounds like Turkish.
Oh, that's Turkish. Yeah.
Anyway, it was weird. I think that was another one. But anyway, it's an ancient tradition, but we're still perfecting it.
Yeah.
So, Liz, you can fill me. Is there a goal to making a perfect cup? See, one of the things we should probably say is this George Howell fellow, George Howell the Third, or whatever his name is.
Oh, George,
if he invented the Frappuccino, I could tell you one thing. For him, it was about commerce. It was about making money. It was about selling coffee products. Liz, you're not into that. That's not what you're here for, right?
That is right. I learned espresso, like when it comes to legendary people, from David Chalmers. He did not invent frappuccinos, but
Thank God.
He really believed in ristrettos.
Ristretto. Now that's where what you put. Okay. I know this is so easy for me to get a rat hold in every different possible direction because I'm fascinated by the whole thing. Maybe I can give a through thread to this though. Liz, teach us what's the goal here in making a good cup of coffee?
I don't know if there's a tangible goal, like something you strive for. And you can actually get to something you say, mathematically speaking, this is perfect. Like I am doing my ratios in the right time and it's flowing at a certain pace and it tastes divine to my taste. But maybe I give it to Mark. He's like, this is awful.
You're saying it's an art, not a science.
I truly believe it's an art.
It can't be perfected. There's science, there's chemistry.
So much. It's so much. It's physics, it's mathematics, it's aesthetics too. Like when you're trying
feels. It's also feels.
Yeah.
There's a lot of feels.
Feels. Yeah,
that's true.
There's joy. Like when you see the streams, golden streams falling down, you're like, whoa, this is perfection. So there's so much to it. And I think also you said, I don't think a coffee that comes from a sock is something that could be in the realm of specialty, but maybe
it is
coffee may be tied to the feelings or the emotion you had when you were drinking it.
Right.
So there's a lot to coffee. And I honestly don't think or know that there's a goal to it. It's just, this is culture now. It's memories. There's so much to it.
So is that what you're doing with your channel is kind of sharing the culture of coffee as much as anything else?
Yeah, to be honest, it was born more like a need for me to stay connected to it. When I left my barista job, right? So I left my barista job 2021 to 2023, and then I'm left with this freaking hole the size of a espresso. And I'm like, what
Did
do I
you
do
love
with it?
being a barista?
I absolutely loved it. I cried for like 6
Oh.
weeks when I had to leave my job. And it was just because, you know, you have to make money. And as a barista, earning minimum wage.
Yeah, you don't make a lot.
It's
Were you
pretty-
working in a specialty place, or was it a chain? Or
Yeah, specialty, very small operation called Ethical Bean here in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from Aaron Delasser, which was
Aaron.
my coach to this date. I still bug him every time. I'm like, hey, I'm trying this. What do you think? And books, back and forth, books. But at that time, I knew nothing about specialty, right? So it was pretty surprising to find all of these things. And he will try to explain to me, like, you were trying to get into this time or this. And I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. So it was a lot of trying. And
is that the first step? Is learning to taste?
I would say so.
Yeah.
And tasting is not only having a lot of coffee, it's tasting like literally foods and drinks and going outside and smelling things and trying to build like, how can I say, a catalog of flavor and smells and all of the things that you can later relate to.
It's just like wine. I said this last time to you, Mark. It's just like wine.
Exactly.
Yeah, in fact, we have an evaluation kit that's called the Nez de Cafe, which is actually made by the people who do the same thing for the wine industry for the sommelier licenses. It's a box that has like 48 files in it that each one is a different scent, and they're associated with coffee flavorings and coffee aromas. In fact, I was just staring at mine up there. It's up on the shelf right there.
Mine is here below me.
I don't have one.
They're expensive. I mean, they the full
It wouldn't
kit
help me anyway.
is
You
well
have to
over
be-
$600.
You have to be almost a super taster, right? You have to have a very refined sense of taste and smell.
Or just be really into the fact that you want to know how to properly evaluate coffee. It's one of the tools that coffee evaluators always
I
have
feel
to
like that would
invest.
get in the way of me enjoing it, though.
It does, but I mean, like, you learn how to balance those things, right, Leo? I mean, like, there's times where I'm evaluating a coffee. I used to help roasters develop their blends a little bit more in the past. They would send their single origin coffees out, and I would kind of experiment. I'd sample each, smell each, brew each, get the taste profiles from them, and then start figuring out, will flavor A mix with flavor B? Will flavor C negate flavor A, and build blends that way? And one of the tools I used for that was actually the Nez de Cafe kit, because that would help me sort of work with complementary and opposing flavors. So in that case, I mean, that's like you doing your research for your thesis for your
I
tech
don't do
report.
any research.
Yeah. But on the other
I
hand,
don't with coffee either. I just make it and then I taste it and it says, "Is this good? This is good."
on the other hand, like, once the blend is done, I sit there and I just enjoy
You can
the cup.
enjoy it then.
Yeah.
And like the process itself of tasting, you can make it enjoyable. You can sit down with your wife and just have 3 coffees. You just need at least 3 to triangulate. And you just, start talking about the differences. Oh, this is more acidic. This is sweeter. This is more sour or bitter. And then try to distinguish. And what does it remind you of? How does that make you feel? Did it take you to the time you were in a cabin and it was raining and it tastes like wood for you? Like, I don't know. Like, you can also have some joy just from tasting. So,
By the way, I like this note here on the side. I prefer my coffee without notes of lawn clippings. I like that.
That's true.
fantastic.
That's a good point. That would be the greenier, less roasted.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, baked, not roasted. I want my second crack. That's what I want.
That's what you want. You want your second crack, Leo.
Yeah.
Not
definitely
past
do.
second crack, because second crack is when you start getting into a roast profile that we call a full city, which is full city is somewhere between light and medium roast.
Oh, it's a city roast.
Yeah, so it's called full city.
Yeah.
That's what it's been called for about the last 40, 50 years. And it's basically between a traditional light roast, not a baked light roast, but a traditional light roast, and a medium roast.
Okay. Lisa drinks I think it's a Vienna roast. It's double roast. It's really dark. What's wrong with doing that?
At that point, you're just drinking the roast profile. You're not drinking
You've
the
roasted
flavors.
all of the notes out.
Yeah, you've roasted
It's a
the
much
coffee's
simpler-
flavors out,
yeah.
and you're just drinking the roast profile.
Liz, what would you recommend? Do you like this Full City roast? What's your favorite roast?
No.
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 I saw that in your face. I saw it in your eyes. No.
So this is usually my way of doing things is when I wake up, I need something that's medium, right? So
Okay.
I don't want to impact my taste buds with like lemony when I just wake up.
Yeah, it's too early in the morning for lemony.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then after that, I start to experiment. So cups 2 to 5 are just, who knows?
Wait a minute. You have 5 cups a day?
Or 8, who knows?
Doesn't
Well,
everyone?
you've been working up to this since you were 7, so it's okay.
Doesn't everyone, Leo?
No, that's why I'm drinking kombucha. It's afternoon. I have to sleep tonight.
No, I drink it before I go to bed. So, warms my throat.
Ooh, I don't do that anymore. I'm too old for
I
that
did
now.
get, though, that placebo roast that you recommended, Mark, and that was quite good.
From Madcap.
Yeah, from Madcap.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're
And they use a unique
amazing.
processing. It's not
they're
Swiss.
so good.
Yeah.
I also do decaf. Like they're so.
That's what this was. This was the
That's what this was, the placebo.
Yeah. That's why they
Very
call it
good.
placebo. It has no kick.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
enjoyable.
no, I love that coffee.
They also tend to be sweeter, right? Decaffeinated.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess that would be accurate. Yeah.
Okay, someone
So
in the chat is talking about a roast profile I've never heard of. Passion fruit co-ferment. I've never heard of that.
Whoa.
Dustin likes that one, huh?
Yeah.
This was when they were up at Prototype.
Prototype is such an amazing place to go and try stuff.
Yeah, they were doing a
Honestly.
tasting at Prototype, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
They are very, very good. So I will assume they are leaving the cherries with the passion fruit before they do the actual processing with the co-fermentation.
I don't know.
I'm at a loss. I've never heard of that processing method.
Yeah. Well, that's something you'll have to go to Prototype now.
Yeah, I'm overdue for a trip to Vancouver. The last time I was there, I was picking up my midlife celebration car.
That is a nice vehicle, by the way. You sent me a picture of that. Tell us about your midlife celebration car.
So I had 2 business trips planned to the United States, and because I'm based in Victoria, BC, 2 business trips planned to the States and 1 pleasure trip. And because of the current situation, I decided to cancel all 3 this year. Not to get too political, but I had a bucket of money. I had $8,500 that was going to be spent on U.S. tourism that was sitting in my bank account. So I decided to get my midlife celebration car instead. I'm trying to figure out how to put an espresso machine in it or something.
It's a beaut.
It's a 2005 MX-5 Miata.
Nice.
Let me
I
open
love
this
that
in
thing.
let's see.
I think I sent you a picture, right, Leo?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the picture here so I can show everybody what you're.
Now I'm trying to figure out how to actually coffee-fy that machine. So I'm doing 2 things. I'm getting a vanity plate for it, and I'm not going to tell anyone what it is because it hasn't been. There you go. There I am with my new car.
Amazing. That is so amazing.
I like the vignette you put on that, Mark. It kind of looks like you're dreaming. You're dreaming of your new car.
Yeah.
It's very pretty.
And the dirty shoes.
No, I wasn't looking at the shoes. I was looking at that nice red finish. Very pretty.
So I'm trying to figure out how to coffee-fy that thing. So number 1, I'm getting a vanity plate. I won't tell you what it is because it hasn't been approved yet, so I don't want someone to steal it.
Okay.
But it's a vanity plate that only really serious espresso nerds.
Full of beans.
No.
Okay.
Only serious espresso nerds will get what it means, which is what
Ristretto.
I'm aiming for. Nah, come on, that's too simple.
Unristretto.
Crema.
That's like having your password be password 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, or it'd be too obvious.
But I also bought this vintage auto mocha pot from Italy from the 1960s that runs off of a 12-volt, cigarette lighter adapter converter.
Oh, when you say auto, you don't mean automatic. You mean vehicle.
Automobile.
A coffee mocha pot.
Yeah.
I mean, a local pot for your car. Wow.
It's designed to work with your automobile's power
That's crazy.
system. So it's on
That's
its
a man
way.
who loves his coffee.
That's fantastic.
So how is since you were 7 and drinking coffee in Dominican, how has your coffee taste matured and changed?
So much. I was used to mocha pot coffee, which is mostly burnt because you have to use fire underneath. So the water actually has to boil in order to go up.
Right. So it's too hot.
That.
That's too hot. We know
Exactly.
that.
And what we do is, we put nutmeg in it. We put cinnamon. Like you have to recur to the spices and other things to improve taste. So I stopped doing that when I moved here and I discovered espresso. So I had my espresso phase, and that was like a solid maybe 3 years, where I would just drink espresso. And then I discovered pour over. And I started with a Chemex like you did. And I had never seen this before, like a pour over. And then Aaron kept on saying, you have to stop doing this. Chemex is not meant for one cup. You have to stop. Also, you have to give yourself the chance to try other filters.
They do make small Chemexes.
I know, but I had this like a big one.
Like an 8-cup Chemex. Okay.
So one day he said, you have to try Tetsu Kazuya's method to the V60.
That's the pour over we were just talking about.
And that's the 3-stage one, right, Liz?
No, you can actually play with it. So
okay.
He has a method where he will show you how different steps of the way in different parts of the brew will impact sweetness and acidity. So he will say, if you, for example, use the blooming stage and then you use 50% to just, the first pour and divide it, the next part into another 50%, then you will have a more acidic taste. And then he will also tell you how to deal with overextraction and under-extraction. So you can do up to 5 different pours. And I got
5 different for the same cup.
The same cup. And I got so nerdy about this, and I'm just, playing with the percentages and documenting everything to see the changes in the coffee and stuff. And that changed my life. Like
now I want to do this.
Yes.
So you can go out and get this ceramic. It's called the V60.
Yeah, they're dirt cheap too, Leo. Like you can pick up the ceramic one for like $20 on Amazon. You can pick up the plastic one for like $12.
Do I have to have a gooseneck pour to make?
You really do. You really do.
Yeah,
what does that do? Does that cool it off as it's going through it?
No, it just controls the pour down to like as the flow down to as low as 5 milliliters a second or less.
So that you can pour a cup of coffee in 5 separate stages.
Yeah, like when the method that Liz is talking about. Oh, go ahead, Liz.
No.
No, explain too. You actually let it drain out using his method.
Exactly. You let it just completely drain and then you start over. So he also gives you some time cues. So you kind of know, okay, after 45 seconds, then I'm supposed to start pouring again. And you kind of get the idea on how to do it. And after you've done it a couple times, then maybe if it's a lighter roast, I will do the 5 pours. But if it's a darker roast, I don't want to over extract. So I'm only going to do 2. I'm only going to do 3. So you play with it and you learn quite a lot. So that really, really changed my life. And that actually coincided with, I don't know if you know this, there are Advent calendars that you can buy around, holiday season. And they will give you like 24 days of different coffees, and they will give you the exact dose of 20 grams. So every day you're just tasting things that are completely different from each other, and you're expanding your palate.
Did you do that? You did an advent calendar of coffee?
Exactly. And they tell you exactly how to brew it. And they tell
you have to wait till December, though, unfortunately.
I know, it's only once a year. But it truly changes your whole life. Like it did for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, this is good. So maybe I should try this just to kind of expand. And does he have a book or?
No, I sent you a link there. I just sent you
I see the YouTube video. Yeah,
it's a YouTube video. Yeah.
So just watch the
primary one.
Oh, okay. We'll put that in the show notes.
Corrected it to talk about another type of brewer called the Hario switch. But I would recommend you dump that, ditch it absolutely, and go back to the original one.
Okay.
Then you build your way through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so good.
Speaking of the Hario switch, we put an article up last year about doing a hybrid with the Hario switch and the Hario the Hario Mugen.
So this is Tetsu Kazuya, winner of the World's Brewer Cup 2016. and on the Hario official channel. So you're saying follow this method to perfect my coffee wisdom.
It won't perfect it. It just presents one very unique way to use the pour over.
Begins my journey.
I had tried James Hoffman's method, and not to say anything wrong about him, he's amazing, but that didn't really work for me.
Really?
But I really connected with Kazuya's method. So maybe it will for you. Yeah.
Okay. That's a first step.
Yeah. And, this is when you want to go down the rabbit hole, pour over. And what the beautiful thing is about this entire thing that, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because every time I try, I butcher it. But I'll just say Tetsu for his first name, is that you only need to invest. I mean, the most important thing you have to have is a good grinder. So if you buy a manual hand crank grinder, you're looking at a $60, $75 investment.
We have a Baratza Vario. Is that okay?
That's great for it. But just, for the viewers, if they just even want to get into this method and they only have an espresso machine,
they can buy a hand grinder. Yeah.
Buy a hand grinder for $50 to $70. Buy a pour over kettle, and you can get a stovetop one for like $15.
Okay.
And buy the Hario V60. That's another $15 investment.
So under $100 now, we're set.
Under $80, you
under
could
80. Yeah.
do a World Brewers Cup Champions brewing method for producing coffee.
And
then taste it. Then taste it though, right? Go ahead, Liz.
I just want to say the main thing, like that you can have that gear, but it's the beans that are going to make the difference. So if you're going to do what Mark is saying, and then you buy yourself, I don't know, Lavazza or whatever grocery store.
Costco beans.
Don't get Costco beans for this one.
Exactly. Then
that's what Leo buys.
No, I don't. Although I was in Costco the other day, and having learned from you, Mark, I looked at and they have a whole aisle of beans, and there's no roasted on date on any of them.
So I know. See, policy.
Yeah, no, I want roasted on dates. So, and I only because of you, I still subscribe to that beans subscription. Thanks to you.
Oh, Mark. That's amazing.
And so every couple of weeks I get a new one that was roasted yesterday, basically. So I wait a week and then I have it. But see, now I'm thinking I made a mistake because I went for the caramel chocolatey profile. I
love chocolate and caramel. I'm not like Liz.
Okay,
Liz is the fruity patootie.
And we should say that if you go to coffeegeek.com, there's a whole informational page on how to do this. That's only
for my filters. I don't mess with my espresso. Espresso should taste like chocolate and hazelnut for me.
Yeah, well, that's what I drink is espresso. So
yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And we have a number of roasters in town that are probably pretty good. And
only peasants do that.
In fact, it's funny because sometimes Beans will send me coffee from down the road and I'll go, oh yeah, well, I know these guys. so
Leo, I sent you another link about something else that we're talking about.
It's on getting these links into my system here. Hold on. Let's see if I can do it here.
Liz was talking about the Hario switch, and I came up with a way to hack the Hario switch with another Hario brewing device called the Mugen. Okay. And the Mugen is actually very similar to the Chemex in that there's no vanes or anything for the paper filter. So the paper filter adheres to the side of the brewing chamber, and that's a good and bad thing. The good thing is it essentially becomes what we call a no bypass brewer, because all the brewing water will go through the coffee instead of exiting out the side of the filter. The downside is that if you don't get the grind right and everything else, it actually takes 8-10 minutes for the coffee to drain out.
Well, ain't nobody got time for that.
No. Yeah, so this one here is a hack that takes two different Hario brewing devices and creates a brand new hybrid device that only you have because you built it based on this hack.
Nice, I guess. I feel like I need a basic how-to here, not.
Oh, we have that too.
Oh, I know. You have a wonderful site. I live on your site. I love it.
Yeah, I will say for anyone listening, if you just want to get started and you don't want to have to buy a gooseneck kettle, you can start with a clever dripper.
A what?
Clever dripper.
A clever dipper?
Yeah.
What's that?
Put on the filter. Put on the water first. Then you put on the coffee grounds. Let it sit for a few minutes. You move it. And then when you put it on the cup, it automatically releases the coffee and it's already brewed. You don't have to do anything. It's so easy.
A clever dripper.
And it's so much better than a lot of alternatives. So,
all right.
Quite inexpensive too.
I'm learning so much here.
I see. Here's where our controversy is, because I have moved way on past the Clever Dripper. I've never really liked it because I don't like
Dripper is made by the Clever Brewing Company at cleverbrewing.coffee, just for people who want to find a Clever.
The reason why I don't like it is I don't like the filter material, Liz.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's understandable. But I would say, like, if you really don't want to complicate yourself and you only have money to buy one thing, you can do that.
Wouldn't you buy the Switch instead of the Clever?
Yes.
There you go.
I would.
So the Hario Switch is based on the Hario V60. Its big difference is it's called a Switch because there's a little ball valve in the bottom that will stop the flow of your brewed coffee. So you could close that ball switch and brew what's called an immersion brew. Fill up the filter, with your brew water, your coffee.
That's what we do with the AeroPress, right? And you keep it
in a way with you're doing the inverted method for sure.
Yeah.
And then, after 90 seconds of steep time, you just flip the little switch at the bottom of it. The ball valve opens up and the coffee flows through to the cup.
I kind of like, you were talking about the culture of all this, Liz. I kind of like the idea of hovering over my my V60 and pouring 1/5 of a cup of water into it and waiting.
That's my meditation. Like,
yeah,
that's my quiet sanctuary.
It's a ritual.
It is. It's healing. But if you don't have time, if you're running around, just an alternative. I don't use the Clever Dripper, just for disclaimer here. I am saying that, it's just good.
It's an option.
Yeah,
But better get the Hario Mugen Switch. Or
instead of burning your coffee, I will do that. I don't know.
Yeah, or do it by hand. What about acidity? What if I don't want too much acidity?
Don't buy an underdeveloped roast.
Right. The more it's roasted, the less acid?
Generally. There's also some coffees from some regions that are known for their acidity. Like, for instance, Costa Rican coffees are usually pretty acidic no matter how you roast them. Colombian coffees, until recently, were really kind of deep body, more muted notes, more earthy tones. But actually, that's changing in Colombia too.
So I do the bean subscription. Liz, how do you get your beans? Do you have deals with the different people?
No, not necessarily. I'm subscribed to the Roasters Pack.
Roasters
and they send me 8 ounces little bags.
That's better. These are too big for me. I have to go through 10 ounces. It takes me a while.
They're small, 3 different, and that's one thing. But I like to go and buy themselves, like the beans in person, and I like to go to Revolver. Yeah, Revolver is like a local space here, and it's, I think, my favorite one to go and buy. They have done a very good job of just connecting with a lot of different roasters from all over the world. So you always get things that are different. So
that's you live in coffee country.
I do. I'm lucky like that.
Yeah.
Vancouver is coffee country. Yeah. I used to. Victoria, has a decent coffee scene, but it's nowhere near like Vancouver. Vancouver is one of the true hotbeds of specialty coffee these days.
Agreed. Yeah.
We have a comment there. Can Mark and Liz explain the difference between tasting acidity and bitterness?
Oh, that's a great question.
I can do that.
I don't even know what the difference is.
So acidity is, the kind of zesty, it ranges. Acidity can be like the zesty flavor you get from, if you spritz a lemon and rim your glass when you're doing a cocktail, that's acidity. That's the pleasing acidity we want. It's more of a olfactory experience than anything else. Bitterness is actual, like the back of your palate. You always taste bitters on the back of your tongue. That is, humans are built to reject bitterness. It's a warning sign from nature that says this is bad for you. Mm-hmm. So there's good bitters and there's bad bitters. When you make a cocktail, you add bitters in and they're balanced and they taste great because they play off of things like, the sugars, the sweets, the sours, the salties. bad bitter in coffee, which exists quite a bit, a lot of it does come from the roast profile. A lot. The acidity and the over acidity that we're kind of critical about from the underdeveloped roasts, that is different from the bitter quite a bit. That's like, again, more of a sour cherry kind of acidity that you maybe don't like as much. Bitter, on the other hand, is the polar opposite of sweet.
Okay. That's why you had you were talking about correcting bitterness with sugar. That's why you would add sugar if maybe.
Yes, that's why people add sugar to darker roasts, and they go, in Canada we have the double.
What's that?
That's a Tim Hortons thing that's in Canada where they do 2 creams and 2 sugars.
No, I don't want a double. That's a little much. I want some coffee in my coffee.
You can also mask bitterness by using a little bit of salt. Have you tried it?
I have tried that. Yeah.
If it's very bad coffee, it can save your day.
Lately, what I've been trying to do is what we did in Rome, which is take the espresso and add just a smidgen of milk to it, just a little bit.
Yep.
I love milk and coffee.
Yep.
That was to me to cure the acidity maybe a little bit. Is that right?
Yeah, milk tones down acidity. It depends, but it does tend to tone down acidity. But in fact, I'm of the camp that highly acidic coffees really benefit from the addition of milk, whether it's froth milk in a cappuccino or a macchiato, or even a brewed coffee with adding 10% table cream to it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, I do like my little frost, but I've been trying to cut back on the calories. So
can we talk a bit more about Vancouver's coffee scene, because it's pretty
cool. Now you're talking Vancouver, Washington, Vancouver, British Columbia.
The big Vancouver.
No.
The big one. Okay, good.
The other one.
BC. We're talking BC.
I will say Vancouver, Washington also has an amazing coffee scene because they benefit from Portland's scene.
Right. Yes, I love Vancouver. I love Gastown and the harbor.
A former U.S. barista champion has her cafes in Vancouver, Washington.
Oh, well, see, it's not so bad.
Trend.
You mocked it. But no, we're talking Vancouver, British Columbia. That's a great coffee scene. What makes it so great? Just the variety of places there?
Variety. It's cosmopolitan. It's the Pacific Northwest. Really
town.
It's the Pacific Northwest is the hotbed of espresso culture.
I have a theory. It's because it's so cold and foggy.
It's not cold in Vancouver.
It's a little chillier.
Not today.
No, is it nice? Are you having a nice day?
It is fantastic outside. Yeah.
It's not quite the Dominican Republic hot, but it's okay. Yeah.
But Dominican Republic is not nice.
It's too hot.
Summer and it's hell.
Yeah, it's too hot.
There's nothing more.
Too muggy. Yeah.
But there's a lot of development that comes out of that. Most of Canada's barista champions are based out of Vancouver. Not all. There's a really prominent one in Calgary.
But there's a culture that makes sense. I mean, you see that in a lot of different areas where there's a geographic area where there are a lot of people with the same interest. They reinforce each other, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
and like latte art got it, at least in Canada, got started in Vancouver at Cafe Artigiano back in 1999 to 2001. It was literally the first place in Canada you could get latte art. And he actually learned it from a fellow that Liz mentioned earlier, David Schomer, who's based out of Seattle.
I didn't, last time you were on, I did not show your beautiful latte art. You are perfecting that though, Mark, I think.
I've given up on latte art. No, I've given up on that.
That was it? Well, you did okay.
I used to be really good at latte art, and it's one of those things that if you don't
keep it up.
Practice, you'll lose it. So
that is right.
The only thing I care about is the balance of the cappuccino. I want to make sure that my ratios of milk froth and
I agree.
And it's all about the taste for me now.
Now I really do want a cup of coffee. You've kind of. So Liz, so I'm going to go out and do what you just suggested, which get the V60, get the gooseneck. I have a good grinder. I don't have to worry about a good grinder. And I am going to play with that. Maybe I'll get an advent calendar next December.
Absolutely do.
And play with that. Yeah. What else would you, what other tips do you give your listeners? You have a YouTube channel, a TikTok. People should follow at Liz Happybeans, right?
Thank you. YouTube channel is like my main. And then I realized also Instagram people are now more engaged.
They're humans
TikTok,
too. Yes, that's right.
I gotta say, just if anyone from TikTok is just listening to this, I am sorry, but I am not creating the content for TikTok. I can never use it.
Yeah.
The audiences are very different, and the interests are also very different. So you will find more like geek heads in YouTube, and kind of similar, but more of a hobbyist in Instagram. That's my experience, at least.
Okay. That kind of makes sense because YouTube's longer form. People can spend more time. You can take more time with your videos and do more explaining. So that kind of, to me, that makes a lot of sense.
I will say, sorry?
There you are.
There she is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Another thing I will say, there are things that you want to do and so many things that you learn and you see in videos and stuff, and then you get home and you can't nail it for the life of you. It's a coffee. Like, stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Just get good coffee.
That's the first thing. Just get good coffee.
Get good coffee. Fresh coffee.
Fresh. Look at the roast by date.
Exactly. Don't try to make like this amazing super coffee that you saw and you don't get the crema and you're like, oh, why? And the coffee is 1 year old.
Right.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So Liz, you just passed a milestone recently in terms of your subscribers too, right?
Yes, I did. Just yesterday we reached 12,000.
Nice.
Honestly, when I started this, I had no idea how this was going to look like. And I know it seems very small to a lot of creators, but to me, that's
amazing.
It's huge, especially because YouTube, it's just hard in YouTube to get people, right?
Yeah, because people go to Hoffman and they go to the big names and
exactly
they don't see the other people. And yeah. Well, I want to help promote you here. We're going to get the word out and get you another 12,000 viewers right now.
The reason I gravitated towards Liz was that she, like someone had sent me one of Liz's videos and said, this person, she's based out of Vancouver. And I watched it, and first of all, right away, so one of the things my spidey sense tells me when someone on a YouTube channel actually knows coffee or doesn't know coffee,
right?
When they have a coffee channel. So the very first thing was I said, wow, I think she actually really knows coffee. The second thing was the production values were like amazing. I'm like, is she got a team behind her or something? Is she doing, what is she doing? Is she got a Hoffman crew behind her? And number three, I started watching what she was covering, and obviously she was covering kind of more fringe products and products she was buying herself before she had real connections with the manufacturers and the vendors. But yeah, she dove deep into the products. And one of the things I appreciate from what we do on Coffee Geek is we do seriously deep dives into coffee products.
Right.
And I always feel there's a certain cadre, and I don't want to insult any specific one, so I'm not going to mention any names, but I do feel there's a cadre of the coffee YouTubers who really don't know what they're talking about.
They're snobs. They're BS artists.
They're not snobs. They're just... they just don't have the educational and scholastic background to understand the products they're talking about. So when I first met Liz, I found out, I asked her, what's your background? What'd you do? And then a name popped up. It was Aaron DeLazar. Now, Aaron used to write for Coffee Geek back in 2002 to 2006.
Small world. Yeah.
But I know Aaron really well, and I know Aaron is absolutely a passionate juggernaut of coffee knowledge in the Vancouver scene. So by the very fact knowing that Aaron was Liz's mentor, I understood where the passion and the knowledge came from.
Yeah, he really nurtured that. Like initially he was like, are you sure you want to read? And I'm like, please, I need to read. And then he started giving me books and stuff, and we would just go back to the lab and try. And he had this Gaja Classic Pro that was like 18 or 20 years old at that time. It will actually, I will get like stuck with electricity with it. But it really taught me quite a lot about fine-tuning grind. And just to say something about the production, it's not me, okay? It's not me. It's my husband.
A video geek, huh?
He is the one behind the camera, and he's the one setting up the lights. And before we moved to Canada, we had a production company for 9 years. And
They know what they're doing. Now I get it.
So it's not like something I learned yesterday. It's something I've been doing since I was 15 years old.
This is the key, is combine the coffee knowledge with the production skills, and you've got something. So what video should we start with here on Liz Happybeans if we want to kind of, where's a good place to start? You have shorts, you have the home barista gear reviews, but you said the reviews, that's not your favorite thing. Your favorite thing is teaching. I
got to say, the reviews is what's getting the audience in.
Sure.
That's what draws people in, but that's
Mark knows that, right? That's
yeah. I wouldn't even know. Like, depends. How
about the celebrity coffee orders?
No, don't do that one. No, please, no, God, no.
It got my eye, I have to say.
The Bloom one would be good, I think, Liz. Yeah.
Which one?
Bloom?
The Bloom Studio.
The X Bloom. Absolutely, I love that machine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we'll go down to the reviews here and look.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think that's the last one on the right.
There you go.
That's a good.
This is the biggest deal in the coffee.
So I won't leave the audio on because that's going to confuse you. Look at this. Oh my God. And
Leo,
you know what? I now want one.
From this.
I've seen the ads for this. This is
Leo,
this is basically automated pour over, right?
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
You like it?
I have to admit, when I started, I'm like, I will hate this. Like, why would I want something that's taking out the joy?
All the fun.
Over process.
Yeah.
But now, I have a kid. She's 1. She's always on the move.
Oh, so, you don't have time for all that falderall anymore.
I just put it there, and the coffee is so freaking fantastic. So I am so, forever grateful for the X Bloom. So,
nice.
God, I watch those videos, Leo, and I can't do that. I mean, I'm a photographer, I'm a writer, I'm an evaluator. I am not someone who's into video and production and stuff. I watch that and I'm going, wow, how do they do that?
Yeah, it's nicely done. Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually watching. The last one who commented, he said, yes, watch that one. That's my husband. So he's the one behind the camera. And
what's his name? Let's give him credit, huh?
Luis,
you're doing a good job here.
Such an
Look at
amazing
that.
job.
There he is. I see his name. Yeah.
Post-production value. All of that is him, right?
Oh, nice.
So,
all right.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. It's not me. I can never.
But you're what we call the talent.
That's right.
Yes, I am. Yes. I am just a tool.
Talent is the most important part, as everybody who does videos knows.
I also collect topics sometimes, write the scripts, but he's the one behind the production. Yeah. For sure.
Cool.
Leo knows a bit about being talent.
Yeah, I don't know anything about production, so it's good. So yeah, all right. But I want to learn. I really do. I mean, you talk about things like, do you put egg in your coffee? Do you put salt in your coffee?
Yeah, I've been trying different things to try to appeal to different people and see what sticks. I don't know what's the right answer, Leo. I have no idea. I'm just trying stuff out.
There is no right answer, is there?
I'm curious. I want to try stuff.
Yeah.
I try it and I record it.
I'm going to try the V60. I'm going to do what you suggested because I would like to train my palate a little bit.
Do it.
And Leo, this is another area where what I do is actually quite different from what Liz does, because there was a comment earlier, I don't want to read it on the side panel here, where someone said, you should not trash people's attitudes or opinions about coffee because you'll alienate them. And I do feel that the YouTube producers, no, but I do feel that the YouTube content producers have to really walk that fine line, because there's so much visible feedback that can be negative to them right away.
You can't get away from that. Yeah.
On Coffee Geek, being the written form on, I don't need to pull punches. If I don't like something, I'll tell you that it sucks.
Yeah, you can't pay too much attention to. This is, I think, one of the flaws actually on YouTube is it's really designed to incent people to make link bait, audience pleasing content as opposed to what they really care about. And I don't think that's a good way to be driven. I agree with you 100%.
I'm curious how, Liz, you navigate that, because that's alien to me.
I try to do one for me, one for them.
Oh, that's smart.
Just to kind of balance it out. So something I'm really passionate about, even though it's not going to get views, I don't care. I do it.
Good.
And I fulfill my cup. And then I do something that maybe someone or several people have asked about in comments or messaged me about.
That's fair.
And then there's brand deals and stuff like that. We have to do that as part of, trying to sustain the business, because otherwise it becomes, just something that's draining from me. And it has to be both ways. And yeah, you're right. You can't pay attention to us for nobody's. That's not what I think, but sometimes I have to really filter out. I'm not gonna listen to this. I'm just gonna keep going, and that's how I do it.
Yeah.
Because
you're obviously doing something right. That's good. Yeah.
Did you do a video 9 months ago?
We are nobodies.
you did a video 9 months ago on doing the Starbucks caramel macchiato.
I did. Tell
me the process there.
1, highly requested. 2, I wanted to try and see if I could nail the recipe just by tasting the thing and trying to replicate it. And I did. Okay. So check. Done.
Never again. No, I will confess that was pretty much my standard Starbucks order until Alex Lindsay said, no, just get a quad venti cappuccino. It was like a little bit of milk and a lot of coffee, but I don't go to Starbucks anymore. You've weaned me off of that. Thank you.
Very
especially
good.
To Mark Prince, the Coffee Geek. And look at all these reviews. This is a wonderful site.
Amazing.
Unless you're trying not to spend any money at all, because I ended up getting oh man, I got to get this. I got to get that. It's just,
hey, Leo, can you scroll up just a bit? There's actually an article that covers the honey process. That up a little bit more by Susanna there, the impact of processing on coffee's character.
Ah, okay.
So that one actually covers all the different roast processes. It was written by one of our bloggers. She did an amazing job with this article. One of our blog contributors.
It's an incredible blog. Please read it.
Washed or not? What do you like? You like it natural or washed?
I prefer the natural dry process myself because the natural brings it ferments the coffee slightly, so it always brings out more fruity notes without the acidity. That's what I like.
How about you, Liz?
Actually, I would say the same. I used to do more washed, but now I'm slightly leaning towards more natural processing. Yeah. And I actually think it's something we all should be getting used to, because with all the climate change situation and the lack of water.
That's right.
Yeah, we have to learn how to drink these coffees too.
That's right.
And in fact, Leo, that's kind of how the honey process came about, because it was an experimental method to reduce the amount of water used in Central American coffee green bean production.
And Mark's also trying to convince me that I need to get a taste for Robusto, but that's another matter.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You're making up stories now.
You said it's better for climate change or something like that. No,
it's maybe all we have. Robusta is more hardy and it can grow. Right. I said we may have to get used to the taste of Robusta. Get used to Robusta,
right?
That may be the only.
There is a concern now. The price of coffee in the States. You guys won't have this in Canada, but we expect the price of coffee in the States to go up quite a bit thanks to these new insane tariffs.
It's not just the tariffs, but the tariffs aren't helping. The cost of, climate change is affecting the world of specialty coffee because, again, talking about Robusta versus Arabica, it's called Robusta because it's a hardy growing method that can actually grow outside of the tropics. That's why Vietnam is the number 2 largest coffee producer on the planet now, because they just grow Robusta and they can grow it there. The specialty coffee and Arabica coffee is a pretty delicate plant to have a viable crop from the coffee trees. So it has to grow in very specific climate conditions, very specific elevations. And climate is really changing that. So it's slowly reducing crop sizes. And when the crop sizes go down, the prices go up. So right now, the C market price, which is the main commodity coffee pricing model on the U.S. stock exchange, is at historical highs right now. So that affects the basic price of coffee that every roaster pays for when they get the green coffee in. So that's going up. And then on top of that, the tariffs that your current U.S. president is bringing in is also affecting those marketplaces and those prices. So Canada is actually going to be hit by it, Leo, because most of the coffee that our roasters in Canada buy is through U.S. importers, because the U.S. importers have set up the logistics system to bring in containers full of coffee from Central America, South America, Africa, Indonesia. And they'll bring the coffee in, they'll process, sort it, grade it, and then they will ship on the coffee to Canadian roasters.
Well, I'm sorry. You have my apologies.
The funny thing is, to get a little bit into the deep dive here, is that because of the former NAFTA agreement and because of the U.S. Mexico-Canada current agreement in place, when that coffee is graded, sorted, and processed by a U.S. importer, it becomes a product of the United States. All right. So it used to ship up to Canada tariff-free, like taxes free, because Canada didn't tax it based on it being from Guatemala or from Mexico or from whatever. They taxed it being a U.S. product that was covered by the NAFTA agreement and that. But now the current tariff situation is kind of biting us in the butt, because now there's that 10% and 20 and 30, whatever it is. It's Thursday, so it's 15% today.
Who knows?
Yeah.
That's the worst part. You don't know what your cup of coffee is going to cost. It's changing.
So Canadian roasters have benefited from NAFTA for decades, by not having to pay the foreign import duties on this green coffee coming from the States. Now they're getting dinged by it. It's our reciprocal tariffs that our government brought in. One of the first things our government did when the Americans brought their tariffs in was says, okay, we're going to tax some of your things too. And one of them was coffee.
Right. Well, my friends, our time is short, but I do want to push people over to Liz Happybeans.
We can't end on a bad note too, so we have to talk about something happy.
All right, I'll change the subject in a second. Liz Happybeans, she's on the YouTube. Coffee Geek, Mark Prince, of course, is at coffeegeek.com. Liz, what's your favorite means of making coffee? You can only pick one right now.
Espresso. It's going to be espresso.
Espresso.
Yeah.
Same for you, Mark? Espresso?
Espresso.
Don't mess with anything else.
Is the ultimate.
I feel like it is. I really love a good cup of espresso. I have to say. Whether it's a shot or a cappuccino or just a little bit dollop of milk in there, it really is.
Or whether you're making it with this origami thing here.
I am not doing that. So you're reassuring me that Breville Oracle Jet, even though it's fully automatic, is making me a decent espresso.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, the Breville one, they engineered that so that it essentially is a fully automatic coffee system based on a traditional espresso machine. Yeah, the other super automatics don't do that.
Although the Ninjas, I was surprised for the price, is excellent. I was really pleased with that.
You still have to do some manual things with the Ninja. You still have to grind into the portafilter. You tamp it yourself.
Yeah. I don't mind a little bit of involvement in my cup of coffee.
No, it's part of the ritual, right?
Yeah, I like the ritual, actually.
So wait,
that one's now in the gym. So if I need a sudden shot of adrenaline in the gym, I can run over to the Ninja and I can make a quick one.
Do you have a Ninja Cafe or Lux Cafe in your gym?
In my dedicated room that's a gym. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what it's all about? Give me some reason to go down there.
And where's the Oracle Jet?
The Oracle's in the kitchen where it gets a little bit.
Now, do you or Lisa use
Lisa does it? Lisa is entirely focused on the AeroPress, and I got her. You had recommended that new AeroPress Deluxe, the glass with the
glass one. Yeah,
I got her that for Christmas. She loves it. It's really fantastic. So she lives
premium.
in that. It is premium. Solid glass. I keep terrified I'm going to break it.
They're working on. They're actually going to have. So there's a big trade show coming up in next week. Actually, the biggest specialty coffee trade show of the year. It's called the Specialty Coffee Association.
Where is that going to be?
It's in Houston this year.
That'd be so fun to go to that.
Yeah,
is that worth going to?
As a full-on consumer fan of coffee,
not really,
not so much. But if you're an enthusiast about coffee, and especially in like Liz's case or my case, you cover coffee, definitely worth going. Yeah. We do have 2 reporters covering it for Coffee Geek this year, and our plan is actually to do live same day written reports from the show.
Fun.
Yeah, so if you go to Coffee Geek next weekend, you're going to see some same day or next day reports from our writers. There is going to be some really interesting new products shown at that show, including, I believe, AeroPress is actually going to have something.
Oh, good. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
So you made your own caramel for that caramel macchiato. I'm very impressed.
Of course. That's the thing. I would have thought that do everything at home. You don't have to buy it.
I would have thought you'd use the Starbucks syrup. That would save you a lot of time.
That is not what I wanted to do.
Look at this. She's making believe it or not, a caramel macchiato. See, it only cost her $2,000 for the machine and the.
No, that is like a $200 machine. That's
nice.
Very, inexpensive.
Okay.
Well, so if I was doing it, I would use Ghirardelli's salted caramel.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah,
that's the best.
Believe it or not, the hardest part was making the caramel sauce. I don't know if you've ever tried to make caramel, but it's
very hard. You have to have a candy thermometer and all that stuff, so you get to the right stage.
It's so easy to just do it wrong, and I didn't know. It crystallized, and then it burned, and
she's doing it. She's making it right there. If you want to learn how, Liz Happybeans on YouTube. Make your own caramel macchiatos, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I've covered a lot of Starbucks recipes, and that's not something I'm proud of.
But you know what? That's an example of something that people are demanding, right? That they really want. I understand that. I do.
Yeah.
Look at that. You got the butter in there. You're doing it just right. Did you have a thermometer? Did you have a candy thermometer?
I did not. I was trying to do it as someone will do it if they didn't have all of the tools at home.
I don't think you could do it without a candy thermometer.
You can. Believe me, it's possible.
She does it in the video, Leo.
I've got the sock. Is that do I need?
Hey, there's a video of mine that starts with a sock like that.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Well,
and I'm like,
all right. Little treasure hunt for you on Liz Happybeans page. See if you can find the sock video. Oh gosh, I love talking about coffee almost as much as I like drinking it. But I obviously so do you guys, and I'm really glad that you're here. And Mark, let's keep doing this. I love it.
I'm just happy that you have good coffee, Leo. I gotta tell you.
Well, thanks to you.
Yeah, but
and again, that Beans subscription is a good subscription. Although, what was the one that you recommended, Liz? Subscription?
The Roasters Pack. But
Roasters Pack.
Canada, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not maybe in the U.S.
No, Beans is the big. I think, in my opinion, Beans is the premier one in the United States.
I'm pretty happy with Beans. It's not cheap.
Yeah. No,
it's not cheap, but neither is coffee, I guess.
But Sarah,
the Roasters Pack is for Canadians only.
Mm-hmm. Sarah, who was on the previous show with us, Leo. I mean, she knows her coffee inside out.
She picks them. I know.
Yeah.
She picks them and she does a great job. I've been very happy. Yeah. In fact, I think I did have, come to think of it, something from Ethical Coffee just a month or so ago. It's quite good.
Wow.
Thank you.
So that was her mentor who helped. Is Aaron still
I know. No. That's why I mentioned it. Yeah. Thank you, Liz. Really nice to meet you. Thank you, Mark, for making the introduction and for running the best darn coffee website in the world, coffeegeek.com. Oh, no, absolutely. I wouldn't. From day one, the first espresso maker I got was because of Mark's recommendation.
The first thing I ever read online was from Mark's page. Yep. And when he messaged me and he posted a video or something, I'm like, whoa, this is cat coffee.
I made it, man.
Done.
Great to meet you, Liz. Keep up the good work. And thank you, Luis, for doing such a good job too. You guys are great. And congratulations on your 1-year-old. That's exciting.
It is exciting. She's amazing. Best person I know.
So when do you start her drinking coffee?
Ooh, I don't know, but she makes coffee with me. I put her here in a little learning tower, and I show her how to do it, and I let her do the WDT and stuff. And then she's just so impressed by it, and she drinks the sting milk. And
yeah, because I think a 1-year-old isn't going to like the flavor of the coffee. I'm surprised even a 6-year-old did, but I guess the way they made it, where it's mostly milk and sugar, that's probably pretty.
So you're serving baby chinos.
Baby chinos in your
baby
Bambino.
chinos.
Make it in a Bambino and you're set.
Honestly, I think I'm spoiling her because she doesn't like normal drink, but the milk just regular. But she will drink it if it's steamed.
Mommy, it's not frothed enough. Where's the head, Mommy?
Steam it.
Thank you, Liz, and thank you, Mark.
For having me. Talk to you next
so
time.
wonderful.
Is that your Thurston Howell, the third imitation?
That's my
Leo?
Thurston Howell the third. Yes, absolutely. My God, he's a Yale man.
Oh, God.
Don't ask me how I do that so well. It just comes natural. We thank especially our club members that make these shows possible. These are club-only shows. And if you're not a member of Club TWiT, how are you seeing this? No, actually, we stream it live everywhere. In fact, I saw Liz is restreaming it, which is great. Louise put it up on your site. We love that. But after the fact, the only way to watch it is on our Club TWiT Plus feed. So if you're not yet a member, support this kind of programming. $7 a month. Notice there are no ads because it's for the club. $7 a month, ad-free versions of all the shows, plus lots of special events like this one. Thank you to our wonderful guests, Mark and Liz, and thanks to all of you for joining us. And we'll see you next time. Let's do another coffee time soon, Mark. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee right now. No, actually, I'm going to go get a V60 right now.
I'm happy.
I'm not kidding. I think I might have to do that. And then do they sell the filters themselves, or do you have to get, what do you recommend for the filter paper?
Hario has their own filter paper too.
Okay,
but
so get it all from Hario.
It's so popular that there's third-party filters too, including some artisan third-party filters that are better than Hario's filter.
Really? And where do those come from, pray tell?
There's a company that used to do the filters for Hario, Vita. I can't remember their name right now, but when Hario first released it, they contracted this Japanese company to do the paper filters, and Hario switched who they got to do it because the first one was too expensive for them.
Right.
So that company decided to make them themselves and market them. And they actually have different levels of paper filters for light roast, medium roast, dark roast, for fast flow, for slow flow, the whole works.
Oh, now it's getting so complicated.
It's a rabbit hole. It's
just buy the Hario ones. There are even sets.
Yeah, just get the Hario. The
The
Hario ones are great.
Filter, everything.
Get the whole set. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably have the pot too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they do starter sets for around $20 that includes the filter holder in ceramic or plastic, a beacon like the Hario brewing vessel, and a starter set.
But you said that espresso's the best.
Espresso is the ultimate.
So what am I slumming with the drips, pour over? Just stick with the espresso.
I could say something very controversial. I won't.
What if, okay, so is it possible to get better than the Oracle Jet? I mean, okay, so that's a good kind of, that's automatic. But if I thought, well, I'm willing to spend some energy learning how to do this right, should I go out and get a new grinder,
I have an article on the site just about that, Leo. It's called The World's Best Espresso Machine. And
that's the one that's like $30,000.
No, it's $3,000.
Oh, that's only 50% more than mine.
That's right.
Oh,
where is it? I'm trying to find it.
Is it a Marza Rococo?
No, it's not actually. It's Marza Rococo.
I never get that name right.
If La Marzocco ever sees this show, they're gonna be really
upset.
Upset.
I don't have any coffee sponsors, so I can be.
Here it is here, Leo. I'll send it to you in chat.
Okay.
So this I personally believe, based on cost, features, ability, everything else, is,
and it's not
right
fully
now,
automatic. I would
it's a traditional espresso machine.
It's a manual.
I believe that this
machine
is the best espresso machine in the world right now.
Oh, no, I bought the wrong one again. I like the Ninja.
This is an opinion article.
Is this
and
it?
it's not
Ooh,
this
look
one.
at it. It's pretty.
I know it's not this one, but if you read the article, you'll see why I show that one.
Oh.
If you scroll down, it's actually the
this one.
It's not that one either.
Not the Marazzo Coco?
That's the Marazzo Coco.
Okay. It's the GS3, the Linnea single group body?
I argue the GS3 is not the best machine.
Oh my God. So these are all the losers.
These are all the losers.
This, ladies and gentlemen.
Right there.
Oh, the Elite. Okay.
Yeah.
The Bianca. It's pretty. It's
now this is very much a strict opinion piece. This is not,
not a review.
Not a review.
Well, it is a review in a way. I mean,
not facts only. This is a very deeply personal opinion of mine.
But what makes this so good, Mark?
In the article, I talk about it, but mainly it's the fact that it has full flow control, both manual and automatic. So if you want to brew like something that's called a turbo shot, which we just recently did an article on, at 5 bar pressure, you could do it manually with this machine because there's a little paddle right at the top that you can control.
You just say, okay.
No, there's a physical paddle above the brew group that you can dial back and forth to change the brew pressure on the fly.
So how much better than what I'm getting right now with this?
Do you see that paddle?
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. This machine has a rotary pump instead of a vibratory pump. So vibratory pump is a diaphragm pump that opens and closes. A rotary pump is like a vane system that constantly builds up the pressure in a rotating manner. So, I mean, the fact that it has that is amazing. This machine can be plumbed in, so you can run it off of your home water system and get the benefit of that, 2-3 bar pressure from your home water system. Yeah, this machine is amazing. Liz, have you had a chance to work with the Lillet Bianca or any Lillet machine?
No, I used it once at a show where I was a barista, but I haven't had time to experience more than that afternoon.
And what's interesting, what's interesting too is guess who owns Lillet or Lillet, Leo?
Who?
Breville. They bought the company.
They own everybody and everything.
They bought them 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I can't.
So there you go.
Though it's not that expensive. I mean, it's less than I would have. Well, I mean, you tell me it's the best ever. I would say
if you sell the Oracle Jet and you sell the,
if I could get close,
cafe, you could get close.
But you will also have to do more work.
Yes,
right. And
have a really good grinder, because this machine, the quality of the grinder
makes
is
a big
everything.
Difference. I probably have to get one of those poker things too.
You have to get the WTT device, yes.
Yeah, I got to get that.
Yeah,
special tamper with a pressure gauge.
Oh, I don't have it here. They actually have automated WTT devices now.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to stick with the Breville. I'm fine.
And I'm reviewing 2 of them right now as I talk to you.
I think you're fine.
I think I'm okay.
Here, even Breville. Here, look at this. This is from Breville. Breville has a new line of really high-end.
I was going to buy that, and they're sold out.
Yeah. This one here is actually their WTT device.
I wanted to get the naked portafilter because I wanted to watch
that one too.
Do you need that? Or is that just like...
Shop portafilters are really good. And the thing is, they're cheap. I mean, they're third-party ones on.
But you can see, and then you can see, and so you know if it's like you can diagnose what's going on.
They're super proper evaluation tools, but also they are probably the most pure way to get espresso out of a machine, because there's no. You decide how much you want to mix it after it's in the cup. The spouts and the internal closed portafilter does
I'm not crazy about, honestly, the portafilter that comes with the Jet. I'm not too crazy about, to be honest with you.
That's interesting. Why don't you like it? Because Breville actually does a really good job with their portafilter designs.
So the insert's good. I mean, all the holes are very regular and it's nice, and but then there's a area underneath it that collects. You got to, I mean, I don't.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
I don't. I want to. So that's what I want, a naked portafilter.
Well, there you go. This is what a naked portafilter
that's what
is. If people want to know what it is.
So Ant has a naked portafilter. He says,
Ant Pruitt.
Ant Pruitt wants suggestions for a leveling tamper.
Yeah. I mean, Breville's leveling tamper is awesome, but actually, where is it? Yeah.
Mark's so funny.
Here's a third-party one, MW3 Bomber. They actually, I haven't even opened this box yet, so this will be brand new.
Mark's got so much stuff that he has never opened.
Well, it's because it's queued in the review process.
I know, it's in the queue. It's in the queue.
This here is actually a full leveling. Look at that.
Ooh, look at that.
What a beast.
Look at that.
And then it clicks.
Yeah, that's nice.
So when you tamp with it.
See, I don't need that because
look at that.
I don't get to tamp with the Oracle Jet.
And look, I don't know if you noticed. Look at that, Leo.
What about
the bottom? It's rippled.
It's rippled.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Now I can see it. Yeah. Is that good?
It's funny. The fellow who invented that, Reg Barber, who was kind of the grandfather of making espresso tampers, handmade. That was something he just came up with on the fly back around, I want to say around 2004 or 5, because he had a CNC machine and he could lathe out the bottom piston, this part here, on the tampers he made, and he just decided one day to program in a little ripple effect for the bottom. And
see what happened.
Well, his argument was it created more surface area overall for the water to have its initial impact on. That was his theory. He did it, and it became super popular with barista competitors. Everyone wanted the Ripple Reg, is what they called it.
The Ripple Reg.
Now, unfortunately, because Reg never patented it, because he wasn't.
Everybody makes it. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone makes them now.
See,
Reg is awesome.
It's getting too precious for me. It's too precious for me now. I'm gonna go back downstairs and I might get a V60 just to play with that, but I don't.
You should. They're cheap, and
I don't want to have to stir. I don't want to have to do all of this stirring and tamping and.
There, Liz. So what Liz is showing here is that's actually the WDT device that's automated, the MHW3 Bomber one. Right, Liz, you want to tell Leo how this works quick?
It's on the video. Look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to use.
And it's got the little acupuncture needles already built in.
Exactly,
nice.
And it moves it for you. You only have to press like once or twice, and you're done. Good to go.
That's pretty good. Actually, that's a good idea.
You can adjust the height so it doesn't, go to the end.
Right.
There you go. I'm adjusting the height there.
Right.
So
that's cool.
Different capacities of the baskets will have different heights. So you play with that a little. And what I didn't like, just because I know people always want to know what I didn't like, is a little bit messy. Can be messy.
Sure, it spins it all.
Also, if you spin it too fast, Liz, it creates a bit of a cone.
Yes.
Oh, that's not
good. That's right. That's right.
You don't want to.
And the force tamper as well can be a little bit messy. I know you haven't reviewed it as well, but if you don't adjust the height properly when you tamp, it can just kind of explode a little bit.
Tell the truth, Liz. This is the best way to make
coffee.
Is
the best way.
You don't need anything else. Just this.
Leo, I got to show you something on Coffee Geek. You're going to like this.
Okay.
I'll send
is this the URL you're sending me?
Yeah, I'm just finding it now. Where is it?
I'm trying to find the
shoot.
But I guess, you could make like custom fabric filters that would be just right. I use cheesecloth to make my, cream cheese and stuff. So, maybe there's a cheesecloth for coffee.
There is cloth filtration for coffee.
Sure.
For sure. The difference is that the cloth lets out more oil through. That paper will actually catch.
The paper catches it. Yeah. That makes sense.
Load this one up.
All right,
Leo.
we're loading this Threads up. Okay, this is on Threads.
No, it's not Threads. It's
Oh, that's just in your lower third. Okay, yeah. Why isn't it coming up? Let me copy it again.
Yeah, it's coming out blank for me too.
Yeah, it's coming up blank, man. Cloth pour over how to. I could just I'll just search it.
Is it not showing up?
Yeah, it's just a blank screen for some reason.
That's weird.
I got it here. I got it here. Oh, and you have an article on how to use a V60 pour over. Perfect.
Yeah, I have it all.
Yeah, it's all here, man.
So how to brew with a cloth pour over.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a cloth sock. That's what when we're talking cloth sock. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that way you get more of the oils.
Yes.
Do we not want the oils? Are the oils bad?
No, here's the great thing about cloth versus paper or metal. Okay, so metal filters for pour over, they'll let some of the grit through and, makes the coffee more cloudy and everything else.
Right.
Paper blocks everything, but paper also restricts some of the flow of some of the coffee's oils and lipids and fats.
Right.
Cloth is kind of the happy medium between the two because cloth presents a clean cup. There's no sediment. There's no grit.
But some of the
it lets the oils go through.
You get a little more mouthfeel. Yeah.
The downside to cloth is that it's a lot more difficult to clean. That's the downside.
Yeah. Or just throw it in the washing machine.
Yeah, and maybe
please don't do that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why am I blurry?
All right, I'm going to hang up because poor Liz has got many other things better to do than hang out with us. Thank you, Liz. It's such a pleasure meeting you. Congratulations on your success. And I wish you continued success in your YouTube. That's great.
Absolutely. I hope to meet again with you soon. And then I'm going to have like 100,000 subscribers.
My son, who started on TikTok with 30,000 subscribers, has said, Dad, should I keep doing this? I said, yeah, you're doing great. He got up to 2.5 million on TikTok, more than 1.5 million on Insta and YouTube. And he's now opening a sandwich shop in New York City on Bleecker Street next to John's.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he's done
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is he doing coffee in a sandwich shop?
I'll ask him. That's a good question. You got to have coffee, right?
Yeah.
It's New York, though, so it might be like, might not just be a little bun coffee maker with a...
That's coffee. You got to have the coffee in New York. You got to have coffee.
Coffee, white.
There's a coffee. Come on.
It's a coffee. All right, fellas. It's great to see you. Thank you, Liz.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mark, for setting this up. Let's do it again soon, yes?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.